If you are over 65 and you believe walking is enough to keep your legs strong, I want you to stop for a moment and really hear me. Walking is good. I still want you to walk. I am not here to talk you out of it. But walking alone is not enough to protect the strength, balance, and physical confidence you need as you age. That may sound surprising because walking feels healthy. It feels like the responsible thing to do. And in many ways, it is. It supports the heart. It helps circulation. It helps mood. It keeps you moving. But too many older adults hear that walking is healthy and then assume it is doing everything. It is not. I spent 20 years as a Navy SEAL, and for a long time I believed that if you were moving, you were doing enough. Push harder, sweat more, stay active, and the body would take care of itself. Then my late 40s gave me a hard lesson. My blood pressure was moving in the wrong direction. Recovery was getting worse. My body was no longer rewarding force. It was rewarding intelligence. That changed how I think about training, especially for people over 60. After 65, the question is not just whether you are active. The question is whether you are giving your body the right signal. Walking gives one signal. It improves endurance. It keeps you going forward. That matters. But strength is a different signal. Balance is a different signal. The ability to rise, lift, stabilize, catch yourself, and stay independent in daily life requires something walking does not fully provide. And that is why I want to show you 3 exercises that matter more than walking, if walking is all you have been doing. Not instead of walking. More important than walking for the things that keep older adults safe, capable, and independent. These movements are simple. They are practical. They are joint-friendly when done correctly. You can do them at home, and if you stay consistent, they can do more to preserve your real-world function than miles of casual walking ever will. So let's start with the first one, the chair sit to stand. In my opinion, this is one of the most important exercises an older adult can do, because it trains one of the most important movements in life, standing up under your own power. That sounds small until you lose it. Once standing up becomes difficult, everything starts changing. You begin using your hands more often. You avoid lower chairs. You hesitate before sitting somewhere unfamiliar. Getting out of the car takes more effort. Getting off the toilet feels like work. Rising from bed becomes less automatic and more of a task. That is not just inconvenience. That is the beginning of dependence. The sit to stand targets the muscles that protect you against that decline. Your thighs, your hips, your glutes, your trunk, the stabilizers around the knees. It teaches your body to produce force upward, which is something walking barely challenges. That upward force is critical after 65. Walking keeps you moving across the ground. It does not do much to train the strength needed to lift your body weight from a seated position over and over again. And that strength is one of the clearest markers of whether daily life stays easy or starts becoming a negotiation. Here is how I want you to do it. Sit in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor, about shoulder width apart. Scoot close enough to the front edge that you are not leaning way back. Sit tall first. Then lean forward slightly from the hips, press through your feet and stand up. Once you are fully upright, lower yourself back down with control. That last part matters. Do not just drop into the chair. Lower yourself slowly. The lowering phase builds strength too, and it teaches control. If you need your hands at first, use them lightly. That is fine. There is no shame in meeting your body where it is. The goal is not to impress anybody. The goal is to build enough strength that your body can start doing more of the work on its own. Start with 5 repetitions. If 5 feels manageable, work toward 8, then 10. Over time, you can do 2 sets. But quality matters more than quantity. I would rather see 5 clean repetitions than 12 rushed, sloppy ones. And let me tell you something I have seen many times. A person says, "I walk every day, so my legs are fine." Then they try controlled sit-to-stands and discover very quickly that their legs are not as strong as they thought. That is useful information. Because when your legs are weak, the problem does not always show up on a pleasant walk around the block. It shows up when you are tired, when you are carrying something, when you stand up too quickly, when the chair is lower than expected, when your confidence drops for a second and the body does not answer the way it used to. The sit to stand prepares you for those moments. Now let's move to exercise number 2, heel raises. This one gets overlooked all the time, and that is a mistake. When people think about leg strength, they usually think about thighs and hips. And yes, those matter. But your calves are some of the most important muscles you have for walking well, balancing well, climbing stairs, and preventing falls. Your calves help push you forward when you walk. They stabilize the ankle. They help the foot react to the ground. They support your ability to change direction, recover from a wobble, and stay steady when the surface is not perfect. And here is what many people do not realize. Walking does use the calves, but not enough to truly strengthen them once age-related weakness starts creeping in. That is the problem. The body adapts to what it is asked to do. If walking is easy and familiar, it may help maintain a little function, but it often does not provide enough challenge to preserve real lower leg strength. And when the calves weaken, the ankles lose some of their authority. Steps become flatter, push-off becomes weaker, balance becomes more fragile, stairs feel harder, uneven ground feels less trustworthy. That is why heel raises matter. Stand near a wall, countertop, or sturdy chair. Keep your feet about hip width apart. Stand tall. Then slowly rise up onto the balls of your feet as high as you comfortably can. Pause for a second at the top, then lower back down slowly. That is 1 repetition. Slow up, brief pause, slow down. No bouncing, no jerking, no rushing. Start with 10 repetitions. If that feels fine, build toward 12 or 15. Eventually you can do 2 sets, even 3 if your body tolerates it well. And here is the secret that makes this more effective. Do not turn it into a mindless motion. Feel your feet pressing into the ground. Feel the calves working. Stay tall through the spine. Let the ankles move with control. You are not just going up and down. You are rebuilding strength through the lower leg and restoring trust in the ankle-foot system. That system matters more than people think. When an older adult says, "I feel unsteady," sometimes the issue is not dramatic weakness in the hips. Sometimes it is a quieter problem lower down. The calves are weak. The ankles are stiff. The feet are not giving clear feedback. The body stops feeling connected to the ground. Heel raises help restore that connection. And if doing both legs at once becomes easy over time, you can progress carefully. Hold on for support and shift a little more weight to one side, or pause longer at the top. But earn those progressions. Do not rush them. Simple movements done well for weeks and months change the body. Fancy routines done twice do not. Now let's get to exercise number 3, marching knee lifts. In some ways, this is the most revealing one of the 3, because this is where a lot of older adults discover that their hips are not doing what they thought they were doing. When you walk, the hips move, yes, but the challenge is limited. Many people walk in a way that is more like a shuffle than a true confident step. The feet barely clear the floor. The knees do not lift much. The body glides forward without really training the muscles responsible for lifting the leg with strength and control. That becomes a problem. Weak hip flexors and weak stabilizers around the pelvis make it harder to climb stairs, step over curbs, get into a car, recover from a stumble, and walk without dragging the feet. And once the feet stop clearing the ground well, tripping risk rises fast. That is why marching knee lifts matter. Stand next to a chair or a countertop. Lightly hold it if you need support. Stand tall. Then lift one knee up as high as you comfortably can, ideally toward hip level, but only if that feels safe and controlled. Lower it slowly, then switch sides. That is it. But again, quality changes everything. I do not want rushed, lazy marching. I want deliberate lifting and deliberate lowering. I want you tall through the body. I want the standing leg working. I want the trunk steady. I want you training the body to pick the foot up and put it down on purpose. Start with 8 to 10 lifts per side, then build toward 12 or 15 if your body handles it well. This exercise does more than strengthen the muscles that lift the leg. It also trains balance, because every time one leg comes off the ground, the other leg has to support you. The hips have to stabilize. The trunk has to stay organized. Your nervous system has to keep everything coordinated. That is exactly the kind of control daily life demands. Think about real life. You step over a curb. You climb into a bathtub. You clear a bag on the floor. You change direction while carrying groceries. You recover when your foot catches slightly on uneven ground. Those are not endurance events. They are control events. Walking helps endurance. Marching knee lifts help control. That distinction matters. And here is something I want you to keep in mind. If this movement feels difficult at first, that is not a sign you should avoid it. It is often a sign the body needs it. As long as you are doing it safely and without pain, difficulty simply means those muscles have not been getting enough clear work. That can change. So now let's put all three together. Chair sit to stands, heel raises, marching knee lifts. 3 simple movements, 3 strong signals. One tells the body, stay powerful enough to rise. One tells the body, stay stable enough to push and balance. One tells the body, stay coordinated enough to lift, step, and recover. That is a much more complete message than walking alone. And I want to be clear about something. I am not attacking walking. Walking still matters. It supports your heart, lungs, circulation, and mental clarity. Keep doing it. But walking is not the full answer. Walking builds endurance. These exercises build strength. Endurance helps you keep moving. Strength helps you keep living independently. Endurance helps you last longer. Strength helps you handle life better. You need both. But if all you do is walk, you are leaving major gaps in the system. Those gaps are where trouble starts. That is where a person who stays active still struggles on stairs. That is where someone who walks every day still feels shaky getting out of a chair. That is where a person with good intentions still loses confidence because the body is not strong enough in the ways that count most. And confidence matters. Because when people lose confidence in their legs, they stop doing things. They avoid long outings. They turn down trips. They become more careful around stairs. They sit more. Then the body weakens more. Then confidence drops more. That spiral is real. These exercises help interrupt it. And here is the beautiful part. You do not need a gym. You do not need expensive equipment. You do not need a personal trainer standing over you. You need a chair, a wall or counter, and a few minutes of honest work. Do them 3 or 4 days a week. Move slowly. Rest as needed. Focus on control, not speed. If you stay with it, most people start noticing early changes within a couple of weeks. Standing feels smoother. The calves feel more awake. Steps feel lighter. Stairs feel a little less hostile. Then over the following weeks, the gains start showing up in daily life. More confidence, better balance, less hesitation. That is how progress often looks after 65. Not dramatic overnight transformation. Quiet improvement in the places that matter. And if you are sitting there thinking, maybe I'm too old for this, let me stop that thought right now. You are not too old. You are not too weak. You are not too late. The body can still adapt. It may adapt more slowly than it did at 25, but it still responds. Muscles still respond to work. Balance still responds to practice. Confidence still responds to proof. Your body is not done listening. It simply needs a better message. And these 3 exercises are a better message than walking alone. Now, a quick word on safety. If you have severe pain, recent surgery, major dizziness, or a condition that affects movement, talk with your doctor or physical therapist before starting. Use support as needed. Modify the range. There is no prize for pretending you are stronger than you are today. Smart training always beats proud training. Pain is not the goal. Consistency is the goal. So here is what I want you to do this week. Pick 3 days. On each of those days, do 5 to 10 sit to stands. Then do 10 to 15 heel raises. Then do 8 to 12 marching knee lifts per side. That is enough to begin. And once it starts feeling easier, do not stop. That is the point where many people quit because the urgency disappears. Do not make that mistake. Easy is often the first sign that the body is changing. Keep sending the signal. Because after 65, strength is not just about exercise. It is about freedom. It is about standing up without worry. It is about climbing stairs without fear. It is about walking outside without wondering whether your legs will answer if something unexpected happens. It is about protecting the life you still want to live. So yes, keep walking. But stop asking walking to do a job it was never designed to do alone. Give your body more. Give it the signal to stay strong. Give it the signal to stay steady. Give it the signal to keep lifting, stabilizing, and supporting you. That is how you age with more confidence. That is how you protect your independence. And that is how you remind your body, one repetition at a time, that it is not finished yet.